Tenure of home loans. Again, when you go and apply for a loan in a bank, normally, India is in a rising curve, which means that all the salaried people or most of the people who are going for a housing loan are in a zone where their salaries are increasing. Okay. So ideally what you prefer is that, if at later point in time, I have to pay a higher EMI, I don't mind. So today my EMI or the equated monthly installment should be as less as possible. Right? Now the tenure of a loan is directly related to the EMIs, which means what? If the tenure is more, then the EMI is less. Whereas if the tenure is less, EMI is more. Right? Interestingly, I'll tell you something, if you see over a period of 10 years or 20 years, okay, the EMI on a loan of 100,000 over a period of 20 years and the EMI of 100,000 over a period of 10 years, there is not huge difference. Okay, this we will see when you reflect the videos to you, but normally the difference is 30%, which means what? That if you take a 10-year loan, normally you'll pay, let's say if you were to pay EMI of 1,000 per lakh for a 20-year loan, you will pay 1,300 or 1,350, somewhere around that, depending on the rate of interest for a 10-year loan. Right? So can you see what is the kind of difference that is there? If you try to go for a lower number of years, the total amount you pay will be significantly less. But as I said, given that most of the salaried people who are going for home loans are in a rising income zone, they prefer to take it for 20 years. Although you always have an option that you can increase your EMI and reduce your period even at a later point in time. Well, all that is beyond the point. So let's see about tenure of home loans. Now for tenure of home loans, normally this period is 20 years. Okay. I mean, the maximum period is 20 years, I should say. Right? If you want, you can go for 10 years also. You can go for 5 years also. The bank do not stop you. Right? Depending on your income level, you can go for either of these two. But in case of salaried employee, there is one thing which is there. So what happens is, normally it is assumed that a salaried person will go out of job at the age of 58 or let's say 60 once he retires. Once you retire, you don't have any income. If you don't have any income, how will you pay the bank? Right? Therefore, in most of these cases of salaried individual, where the banks feel that the total service life means what? Let's say you are at the age of 40, then assuming the retirement takes place at 60, you have 20 years of working life left. But if you are currently at 50, the bank will take that your working life is only 10 years. So instead of giving you a 20-year loan, the bank will say, we'll give you a 10-year loan. Right? Again, differs from a case-to-case basis, not necessarily, but generally. Further, in case of construction of house, plot of land and construction of house, I'm sorry, this is something which has come in here by mistake. Just ignore this. For other people who are non-salaried employees, the maximum tenure is 20 years. Okay? This is to start with. I will show you in the next video that if the rate of interest goes up, then this 20-year can actually increase, let's say, to 30 years also at times. Right? How, that we will see in the subsequent videos. Sorry for this error. Right? This is something which flew from the previous video. Okay? So just to recapitulate, tenure of home loans maximum is 20 years. For salaried employees, it can be capped below 20 years if the retirement age of the person is less. Means it is to retire, he has less than 20 years.